civilians with merciless precision, targeting sewage systems, the electricity supply, schools, hospitals, media centres, factories. I say no, this is not apartheid. The apartheid regime created Bantustans where they built schools, factories, houses, hospitals to separate white from black people. When I see the destruction that Israel causes, supported by 90% of its Jewish population, I think not of apartheid, but of genocide. But Israel would not be able to create this sort of carnage without the help and support of the American government, of Cameron, of Hollande, of Merkel, of Sisi, of Harper, of Abbott, of Goodluck Jonathan. All of them could not wait to say that Israel has a right to defend itself. Against what is it defending itself? Rockets that have killed actually one person so far, a Bedouin farmer who died because the Israeli state and its judiciary refused to allow Bedouins to have shelters, telling them they could lie on the ground when the rockets came over. 2 other people were killed by mortars when they were too near the border. And I think we have to remember that if the rockets were so dangerous, why was it that aeroplanes were allowed into Ben Gurion Airport? As soon as there was a question that aeroplanes would not be allowed to fly, they said, well, the rockets are not dangerous at all. So what is Israel defending itself against? No. Israel has a responsibility under the Geneva Conventions to the people it occupies. A responsibility that the Western nations and politicians show very little interest in upholding. We should now be demanding that Israel rebuilds what it destroys. I believe that if there's a price to pay, Israeli belligerents could be held in check. People tell me that anti-Semitism is on the rise. It seems to me that what is on the rise is antagonism against Israel's supporters who defend the indefensible. I go to marches and demos holding a placard, wearing a badge and t-shirt which proclaims loud and proud my Jewish heritage. And I have never known such an outpouring of support. The bearded man who offered me his water bottle in a steamy tube tray, the Niqabi woman who gave me a thumbs up in the train, the woman in the pub who treated us to a drink. The support is unwavering. However, there is no excuse for racism of any kind in our movement. Target people by all means for their ideas, for their ideology, for their racism, but not for the accident of their birth. In my view, the worm is at last turning. Supermarkets in Europe are turning away Israeli produce because they know it comes with a toxic label and no one wants to buy it. People who have never taken a public stand before are coming on marches and are writing to the papers and to their MPs. In fact, the post bags of MPs are filled with complaints about Israel. 58,000 so far, and counting, while only 5,000 have supported Israel. Israel than in favour. 46% of the readership of the Jewish news think that Israel's action is disproportionate, forcing the Board of Deputies of British Jews to say that Israel has lost the war of interpretation, even among parts of the Jewish communities. So we continue to struggle, recognizing that Israel has suffered a major defeat, if not on the battlefield, in the hearts and minds of people of conscience. We must demand a complete arms embargo, accountability for war crimes, and the targeting of all those complicit in Israel's belligerent occupation. The time is now, and when the guns are silent, we must be ever more vigilant and active. Keep up the pressure. Remember, we are the future. La lucha continua. The struggle continues.